disqualification.
I am concerned, and my team is concerned, throughout the stipulated period for which the EC was required to get back to us if they had issues with our nominations. That did not happen. And we also had to wait for more than a week from the EC to hear about the EC's decisions going forward. Throughout that entire period, I have not received any written concern from the EC. My team has not received any calls from the EC. We believe that these issues that the EC is raising can be resolved. We have heard from the news being put out, or the comments being put out in the media, that there were some irregularities and that the candidates themselves are in the know and they have been informed. As I state here, we have not at any point in the last 1 week or the day that was left for the filing process to be complete heard from the EC. We've received no calls, we've received no written nominations, we've received no emails, absolutely nothing. And we have provided all these details in case the EC needed to get us. And so what I will say now is that we still believe there are ways to solve these issues. And so we will be in touch with the EC to gain some further clarification as to what exactly they find wrong with our nomination and what exactly is the way forward. We have to ensure that we do everything possible to ensure that the things that need to be redressed are redressed. But tomorrow we take this up and we will go forward and see what best we can do to resolve this. There are many ways to resolve this, and we would explore every single one of them.
The United Front Party's Eugene Boateng says he believes this is an agenda to ruin his political career.
Says that I am the only threat candidate to him because he has failed a certain region, he has disappointed a certain region. So if they get a native from this kingdom who is contesting, they will not vote for him. It's a plan work. And it is clear that he hasn't done anything better in a certain region. Even the development that he has done in the Shady Cemetery is more than what he has done in the city of Kumasi and a certain region. So the president is behind this. But that notwithstanding, tomorrow I'll take the Electoral Commission to court.
President Akufo-Addo has inaugurated a 7-member governing board of the Right Information Commission. The ceremony took place at the seat of the presidency on Monday, October 19, 2020. The board is chaired by Justice K.A. Oforiatta, a retired High Court judge, and Elizabeth Asari as his deputy. Yaosapon Boateng, a distinguished lawyer, is the executive secretary of the commission. Other members of the board are Victoria Susuawu, Dr. Edith Dankwa, Nana Kwame Dia, and David Opunkusi inaugurating the board. President Akufo-Addo noted that the board is mandated to resolve complaints through mediation or arbitration, issue specific directions in matters concerning confidential information and other circumstances which the Commission considers appropriate. Now, policy think tank Imani Africa has given the Akufo-Addo-led government thumbs up over its management of the COVID-19 pandemic. The disease, which has ravaged several countries and brought the global economy on its knees, appears to have spared Ghana and ensured a daily reduction in the number of positive cases from an average of 400 few months ago to less than 80 in recent days. Speaking on the current affairs edition of Spotlight, which airs on Mondays and Wednesdays, President of Imani Ghana, Franklin Kujo, said government performed creditably well in ensuring the disease didn't overwhelm the country.
Well, I think by and large the management has been creditably well, really. I mean, I think it's been managed well, especially the alleviation part of, the alleviation of the impact part. What I mean is that people who had to go into penury or temporary poverty of food and, if you like, basic services.
Okay, utilities and water?
Well, utilities by and large was universal, if you like, even though some people complain. Food was massively available.
Touching on governance and security, Mr. Kujo called for thorough investigations into the sudden death of a key suspect in the Professor Bennett murder case.
Said about that murder?
Have
they been conclusive?
No. Today, the information today was that there's been a suspect who is supposed to have been his houseboy.
But he died.
He's died in custody. He died, I think he was sick for a while,
that
and then he died at a police
a
hospital.
proper investigation.
What do you mean when you
because if a suspect dies in your custody, that raises a whole lot of issues, really. You need to do a proper...
What kind of issues does it raise? I mean, they say he was in their custody, he's passed away, they've given the report.
Anywhere, we need to know the history of his health. We need to know, and all of that must be known. This is a high-profile case, and so you must be careful. I'm not impugning any wrongdoing, but I'm just suggesting that, well, beyond anything else, we haven't heard much about the suspects. We don't know. Some of them, I think, confessed that they did it because they had worked with the people.
Yeah.
So you have some leading lights in terms of
This is the main
investigation.
suspect, in fact.
Right. So somehow you probably think that half of your problems are solved because they confess.
Parliament has passed the amended criminal offences bill into law, making corruption a felony. Per the new law, any person found guilty of any form of corruption risks a jail term of between 12 to 25 years instead of the 2 to 5 years jail term proposed by the previous law. The law, according to the Attorney General, is aimed at making corruption unattractive to people and kicking out the conquer. We've been joined on the line by Vitus Azim, an anti-corruption campaigner, to find out how this amendment will complement the existing laws in the fight against corruption. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Azim. Hello, Mr. Vitus Azim. We're trying to get Mr. Vitus Azim back on the line. He's an anti-corruption campaigner. In our story, says that Parliament has passed the amended criminal offences bill into law, making corruption a felony. Per the new law, any person found guilty of any form of corruption risks a jail term of between 12 to 25 years instead of the 2 to 5 years jail term proposed by the previous law. The law, according to the Attorney General, is aimed at making corruption unattractive to people. Mr. Vitus Azim, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, how helpful will this be in the fight against corruption?
How
will this be, this new law?
Okay, well, transparency is one of the tools for fighting corruption. And so if anti-corruption people and journalists can have access to information, especially investigative journalists, and they're looking for information, then that will definitely help the fight against corruption. Because they will now be able to expose acts of corruption and the individuals involved in that type of thing.
But what does it mean for such an offense to be a felony? What does it mean?
Well, it means that you can be jailed to a longer term than if it's an ordinary sentence or ordinary law. It means you can be jailed up to 25 years if you are found guilty of engaging in corruption. The past was a smaller jail term, but this law now makes it a bigger jail term, in terms of, a longer jail term.
And does this in any way give credit to government in its fight against corruption?
Well, it was a promise. It was a campaign promise that they made in 2016 that they have done. But the thing is that even the law before now, some people could still be jailed up to 25 years for corruption. Only it was not clearly stated that an act of corruption is a felony. And they have fulfilled the promise. The unfortunate thing about Ghana, not just this government, but Ghanaian government, is that they will pass the laws, but they will not enforce them. And so it's not enough just to pass the law, but to now proceed with prosecuting people with the aim of sentencing, getting them sentenced, with regards to the longer term.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Vitus Azim. Vitus Azim is an anti-corruption campaigner. Let's now look at some other stories. Central Regional Police Public Relations Officer DSP Irene Sewa Opong has appealed to the general public to volunteer information to aid investigations into claims of death threats on the life of Agona West MP and Gender Minister Cynthia Mamle Morrison. This comes after 4 armed men arrested and detained by the Swedru Divisional Patrol Team on Saturday at a hotel in Swedru. The police found in their possession a knife, a cutlass, and 2 opened bank checks worth 5,000 Ghana cedis each. The 4 men mentioned the names of NDC parliamentary candidate of the area, Paul Fori Amwa, as the one who issued them with the checks. According to DSP Irene Opong, the NDC parliamentary candidate admitted to issuing the checks to the 4 suspects. However, he denies involvement in the crime. The 4 suspects have appeared before a Cape Coast Circuit Court and will reappear on October 30, 2020.
Police invited the parliamentary candidate, Mr. Paul Ofori Amwa, who has also reported at the regional headquarters. And he has admitted of issuing the 2 bank checks that were picked by police at the hotel when a search was conducted in the rooms and also on the suspects. The parliamentary candidate is currently at the regional CID and is assisting police with investigations. His caution statement has been taken on 1, abetment to commit crime, to wait murder, and also preparation to commit crime, that is murder. Again, we also want to appeal to the general public. Any information connected to the 4 persons who were arrested, the general public should contact police on 18555.
Let's now speak to Agona West Constituency Secretary of the MPP, Nana J, to understand how this incident has impacted their campaign. Good afternoon to you. How is Madam Cynthia Morrison doing, first of all?
Good afternoon. Madam Cynthia Morrison is doing very fine, and the constituency is cool.
And will she have to relocate from the area with all of this happening? Will she have to relocate?
Yeah, currently the situation is with the police, and the court has remanded the guys arrested. Court has taken the statement, the police has taken the statement of the parliamentary candidate of the National Democratic Congress, Paul Ofori Amwa, and he's been charged currently. And so he would also appear before court very soon, and so that we see what happens. But we are very sure that the police will do a very good work, and whatever, any hidden truth behind the plot will come out.
Well, and will the MPP hold on to their campaign amidst the alleged death threats on your candidate?
Yeah, of course. We will continue campaign, but currently you cannot continue campaign activities in this situation. We have to put certain measures together because the security of our candidate and the minister is very important to us. So we have to put certain measures in place before we start a campaign again, probably this weekend.
So we'll leave the police to continue their investigations. Thank you very much. Nana J is the Agona West Constituency Secretary. Now, President Akufo-Addo has begun a 3-day working visit to the Volta and Oti regions. The tour, which commenced today, is expected to end on Thursday, 22nd October. Beginning in the Volta region, President Akufo-Addo will, among others, commission the Naval Training Command at Agota Nutokpo in the South Tong constituency and proceed to the Central Park to attend a Derby of Chiefs and People at Afife in appreciation of his installment in 2017 as a chief of the traditional area. On Wednesday, he will, among others, inspect the ongoing construction of the Nkonya Kwame Krom Road at Nkonya in the Biakuye constituency, the Jasikan Dodi Pepesu Road in the Bwem constituency, and then Nkwanta North in Nkwanta South Road in Basa in the Nkwanta North constituency. Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is on a one-day tour of some parts of the Ahafo region. He's expected to visit towns in the Tano South, Esutifi South, and Esunafo South district. And that's how we end MX24 News, which came to you live from Silicon Square here in Accra. My name is Ifwa Evans-Chini. Do stay tuned.
Shop online, get free swipes, and enjoy greater security with a card that turns banking on its head. That's Africanacity.